Shauna from the Yoga Center Winnipeg, and welcome to Yoga Snacks, nourishment for the body, mind, and spirit. Okay, so just come to sit, take a moment to center, and let's start today's practice with a little bit of guided breathing. So you could maybe put one hand on your stomach and one hand on your chest if you like. And at first, as you sit here, just find the feeling of your breathing. And notice what it's like. Notice if it's short or long. Are there little pauses? Okay. And we're going to start by slowing the breath down a little bit so that as you inhale, comes in slow, 2, 3, 4, filling up towards the belly. And as you exhale, emptying 2, 3, 4, and maybe 5. Squeezing the belly empty. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so we're just doing a slightly longer exhale. Inhaling 2, 3, 4, filling the lungs as much as possible. Exhaling 4, 3, 2, 1. And one more. Inhaling 2, 3, 4, full lungs. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Great. And then just relax. And once again, just notice what your breathing is like without changing or fixing it. Okay, and remember that anytime you like, your breath is there for you. So it doesn't matter what you're doing in the day, it's always good to take a little breath pause and to tune in and feel what your breath is like. You don't need to change or fix it, but sometimes, especially if you're feeling a little bit anxious or stressed, taking those deeper breaths, slowing the breath down, and making your exhale 1 or 2 counts longer than your inhale can be helpful. You don't want to do anything that makes you more stressed, so if it feels uncomfortable in any way, leave your breath be. Your breath knows what to do, but sometimes we can help it along just by encouraging it to be a little fuller and a little empty, a little longer on the empty. Okay, let's get started. Today, I want to play with, so we're sitting on the chair, I want to play with the angle of the legs when we sit on the chair. So I've got 2 blocks. I'm going to put my feet on blocks. If you don't have anything, you certainly don't need to do this, but you can use blocks or books, and then suddenly changes the height that the knees are at. And so you might just notice that. And we can start by putting the hands on the legs and kind of pressing the chest forward, lifting it. So if you were on your hands and knees, we'd call this one cow. And then scooping your belly in and rounding your back. And if you're on the floor, we call this one cat. So we'll work with that again. So this is cow, arching and rounding, coming into cat. And a couple more. Just using this to loosen up the spine and also connect you to the abdominal muscles. When you go into the cat, it usually tones the abdominals, squeezes them a little bit. And then here we're kind of toning in the back a little bit more, stretching in front. And just feel that. Great. And then now that you're back to center, play around a little bit and circle your torso. So other times we've circled around, and that's to kind of mess up our perception of what normal is. This time we're circling around to get movement into the spine, and there's no right or wrong way. It could be a little bit more playful. You just want to move your body in as many different ways as possible. Okay, and then get back and come to center. Okay, and then we'll pick up the right leg and move it a little bit by straightening and bending. This time you can point the toes, you can flex. Again, a little bit more playful. Next time your right leg is straight, circle your ankle. wiggle your toes a little bit, maybe like you're waving. And then bring your right ankle up onto your left thigh. And just notice what it feels like when you've changed this angle. So it might be harder, it might be easier, you might not remember what it's like the other way, all good. And we're just going to sit up for a moment, feel the breath, and then as you exhale, twist over towards your right. And your right hand against the chair, wide across the chest. And then inhale and unwind, and then exhale, start to go forward. And here you can move from your hips, but keep your hips onto the chair. So you might need to round your back a little bit. You can hold the legs of the chair, or if there is a block handy, you want your hand on the block, that's fine, or even just kind of dangle. And it's a wonderful opportunity to tune in to feel your inhale and your exhale, and notice what the shape of the posture does to your breathing. Okay, and then carefully to come up, use the inhale to come up. And then put your right foot down and back onto the block. And then we'll try this on the other side. So raise and lower. The chair is talking to me when I move. And then we'll circle the ankle, go in both directions. Okay, and then put this ankle up onto the thigh and sit up. Feel the difference in side 2 and side 1. Notice, take a little breath break. Notice your inhale, your exhale. Okay, and then we'll twist to the left so the right hand can come onto this left leg. Turn to the left. Inhale, untwist, and exhale, go forward. And so you can move from the hip crease, but also keep your hips down. So you can only move so much from the hip crease without lifting your hips. So you just do that. Let your back spine round a little bit. So sometimes in forward bends, we try to keep the back spine long, but here we want to open into the back as much as possible. Arms can dangle. If there's pain at all, remember to stay up a little higher. Okay, and then inhale and sit up. Put your foot down. Okay, so we can take the feet off of the blocks. Depending on you, I think you can sit on your chair towards the front and take your right leg back through the opening of the chair, or you can do this by coming to the side of the chair. I like to do it by being in the middle, but if you can't put your foot through, then sitting on the edge of the chair and tucking your leg back is good. So here I'm sitting on the chair. I'm going to tuck my right leg back and open the front of the ankle as much as possible, as well as when you lower this leg, it starts to stretch the quadricep. You want to sit back enough on the chair that you're not going to fall off. For some people, this could be kind of intense, and for other people, it might not feel like anything at all. If it doesn't feel like anything at all and you want to lean back, you can lean back. Just lift your chest, look at the sky, or the ceiling as it may be. And then inhale and come up and put your foot forward. Let's try the other side, taking your left foot back, pointing the toes back so the front of the ankle is getting an opening and maybe into this quadricep muscle. Again, sitting upright might be lots, or you might lean back. Okay, and then bring your leg back. Sit up. And one more thing sitting on the chair. So you can do this with a block if you have one. If you don't, your elbows on the thighs are going to be perfect. We're going to sit a little bit forward in the chair, lean so that you're resting on your left forearm or your left hand is on the block. Knees hug towards one another and start to turn towards your right. You could hold the back of your chair if that's available to you. If it isn't, putting your right hand on your hip will help. And you just twist. And another opportunity to notice your breathing. And then inhale and come back up. Let's try the other side. So you could lean forward, elbow on thigh, hand might reach the back of the chair on this side. So it doesn't have to be the same on two sides. Or your hand is on your hip. And of course, you can always bring your hand down onto the block if there is one. Nice. And then inhale, come back up. Take your feet a little bit wider apart and then come forward. This time, maybe just wide enough that you're resting the edge of the body against the legs, the arms dangle, head drops. Remember, if that's not comfortable, you can be propped up onto your elbows. Okay, and then to come up, hands onto the thighs, look up, look forward, and with a big smile and an inhale, come up. Pause to feel your breathing. Okay, and then let's stand up. And for this next part, you could work with a chair or you could work with blocks. I'm going to use the blocks today, just a little bit easier for me. But you can always have your chair, and if you've got your chair, it's going to be in front where the blocks are. You're going to come down to a hands and knees position and have blocks for the hands. If it feels uncomfortable on your knee, you can always put a blanket for your knee. And so you come to the hands and knees, and actually let's start with the blocks. If you're using blocks, you can have your hands on the blocks, and we'll do a little bit of the cat-cow. So the belly drops and the front spine stretches. You can look up. And then as you press into your hand, you round your back, scoop your spine, opening all the vertebrae in the back, and then reverse, kind of toning in the back and opening in the front. 2 or 3 more, whatever works in your body. Nice. Okay, and then come back to neutral, and then here, step your right foot forward. So this is where, if you wanted to use your chair and have your hands on the chair, you could. I'm going to put the blocks on either side. Right knee lines up with right ankle, and the hips start to move forward evenly. So for some people, it's going to be much higher up. Some people much more forward with the hips, and that's so either one is okay. You want to think of the back foot. Today we'll have the toes pointing back, stretching back, and then you're lifting your chest away from the leg. Wide through the collarbone. But tailbone draws down a little bit. So it's like you're putting on the brakes. Some people are quite flexible here, but we want to build stability as well as stretch. So draw down through the tailbone to protect the spine and to create strength as well. So hands on blocks wherever it's comfortable. Nice. And then you can rock your hip back, change the leg, and then have your left foot coming forward. And start to bend the left knee. Again, you come forward with the pelvis as much as you need. If you're using the chair, the hands are going to be forward. Otherwise, you've got them on the blocks. And you're lifting the chest. Again, the tailbone drawing down a little bit to act like a brake. Just helps to keep the pelvis from tilting too much. Breathing and noticing your inhale and your exhale. Okay, and then take your knee back. From here, if you want to use the chair, you have your hands on your chair and you walk your feet back, and it's like a downward dog. Otherwise, we're going to have the hands on the floor. Elbow creases turn to face one another, toes curl under, feet could be pretty wide apart, and press the floor as you lift through the hips, toes pointing straight ahead. You might bend your knees a little bit at first to get your tail to lift up towards the ceiling, and then let your heels drop in the direction of the floor. Doesn't matter if they touch or not, it's just a direction. Okay, and then come down, to hands and knees. And then this time we're going to slide the right knee forward between the hands. The left leg can reach back, and at first we're sitting on the foot. And maybe just rock a little bit from side to side. And for some people with knee issues, this might be a better place to stay, in which case drag your noisy chair in and have your hands on the chair so that you've got not too much pressure. Otherwise, you can have your hands on a block. And then some people could try taking the right foot forward so that it comes in front of this left hip. And then in that case, you might need more stuff under your hip. So you could put blankets or pillows, a couple of blocks. You can still use your chair, lift up. This pose is called pigeon. Actually, it's nice with the blocks and the chair, and lifting your chest, looking at the ceiling, and then I'm not sure if I can do this today, but sometimes I've got a good pigeon impression, so we'll see. So sometimes it makes it better if you make animal sounds for yourself. Okay. And then to come on down, you just lower your hands to the floor, take the supports out from under your hips, lift your leg, bring it back. Maybe here for some people stretching towards child pose, or other people lift all the way up, downward facing dog. Pressing into your hands, stretching back. Knees bend a little to get the hips high, and then lower your heels in the direction of the floor. Okay, and then we'll go to the other side. And again, you can have this blanket here, or if you don't need it, you can move it. The left knee is coming forward, and we'll start by rocking from side to side. Then again, you can stay here, bring your hands up onto the chair, be lifted upright. Or move your left foot in front of your right hip. And as you do that, if your hips can stay level and your foot goes to the floor, oh, sorry, that's not a foot, is it? But goes to the floor. You don't need props, but most people do. So you can always put that block under there. You don't want to have any pain in your knee here for sure. And then, or your lower back. And then if you like, you can use this chair to help you lift, or you can be up onto your fingertips. If you like, you can try your pigeon impression. Sounds a little sick. Okay, and then to come out, just press into your hands, lift your knee, take your other knee back. And we're going to do one more downward dog. If it works for you, you lift up, pressing into your hands, outer hips lift. And then from here, sit down come down to hands and knees, bring your toes together, your knees apart, sit your hips right back to your heels for child pose. You can rest your forehead onto the block, have a nice rest. If your knees don't let you do that, you can go back to sitting on the chair and folding forward. It's a great option. Otherwise, resting in child. Okay, and then slowly sit up. Move your block out, stretch your legs out in front and give the legs a good shake along the floor. Okay, here it's nice to sit up onto a support, so I'll use the blanket. Reach the leg out, and then let's see what happens. Pick up this right leg and rock it a little bit. Okay, you've got choices. You could put your right foot against your left thigh or knee and have the belt. That's called Janu Shirshasana. Let's work that way, actually. So typically this is done with the foot in nice and close, but it's good to change the angle a little bit. So let's have it with the right foot close to the left knee. Put the belt around the left foot. Sit up with a tall spine, keeping the front of the body as long as the back. Relax your shoulders, take a couple breaths. And then as you begin to exhale, start to come forward, but keep this front spine long. Back spine also long, maybe look down. It means you don't go as far forward, and that's okay. Then you can go forward a little bit more. You can let your head drop if that feels comfortable. And now you can let the front body relax, the back body open. And inhale, slowly sit up. Lift up your right leg. Might bring your left leg a little bit towards the right, and now take your right leg and step it over top of the left. If that feels like a strain, you can keep your right leg on the inside of the left leg. A bonus move, so you can keep this left leg straight, or some people might like to try bending the bottom leg, and the bottom leg being the left leg. And then this left heel is close to the hip. Sit with a tall spine. And then as you exhale, turn to your right, hug the leg if you like, or support yourself with your right hand. Breathe and feel. Remember that this bottom leg can stay straight, and the right leg can be all the way to this side if that's better for you. Inhale, unwind. Straighten out the right leg. Second side, so pick up the left leg, rock it. And then put it down so the foot is close to the knee. Maybe the knee touches the floor easily, but just in case, you can prop it up. Belt around the foot. Sit tall, relax your shoulders. Take a moment in this upright to feel your inhale and your exhale. When you go forward, fold from the hips and keep the front of the spine long, back spine long. Taking a good inhale, exhale, just feel what it's like. And then you can let the front body soften a little bit. The back body also softens and opens. Head can drop. Maybe you're holding your belt or your foot. Okay, and then inhale, up. Lift your knee. Step your left leg over top of your right. Again, same thing applies. So you can keep this leg straight, or if you want to try with a bend, you tuck it over so it's just by your hip, sitting with a tall spine. Twist to your left. Keep the weight balanced onto the two sit bones. Have a sense that your spine is elongating evenly, left and right. Chance to tune in and notice your breath exactly as it is. Okay, and then inhale, unwind. Straighten out your legs, and then let's lower onto the back. This time, we're going to do something a little bit different. We'll still use the chair, so you can have your chair available. Just bring it a little closer. And this time a block, or it could be something softer like a pillow or a bolster if you had one. Snuggle in close to the chair. Lower yourself down onto your back, and calves resting onto the chair. So I like when the chair comes into the back of the knee and the calf is rested. You may need your chair sideways. This time though, I'm going to take the block, press into the feet, lift the hips, and put the block so that my pelvis sits on the block. You might need to adjust a little bit so that you're more comfortable. There we go. And then the pelvis is resting, so it gives you a gentle inversion. The arms can relax out to the side. And call this pose waterfall. If you had a second block and it's feeling really comfortable, you're a little curious, you could do the second block. I'm going to stay with one. So it just depends on how it works with you and your chair. If you've got pressure in your head, any kind of pressure in your neck, you want to take the block out and put the blanket under your head instead. Usually when your hips are elevated, nothing under the head, but for some people, just the slightest little support under the head can make all the difference. Main thing is no strain in the neck, no pressure in the head or the eyes. Just rest here. If you're comfortable, you can stay here for a long time. Just tuning in, doing nothing but watching the breath come and go, relaxing moment by moment. If and when it's time to come out, you just lift your hips, take the block out, let the back settle first. Then bring the knees in. Then going to your side. Spend a while on your side, and again, you might be still in the pose. There's no rush to come out. And whenever you're done your practice, just take a moment to notice any benefits. Maybe even taking a moment to offer those benefits out to someone or to all beings in some way. Thank you for this time, for sharing this time with me. Namaste.